Hey, what's up guys, it's Renaldo here. So this video hopefully makes your blood boil. And the reason for that is because this video is going to focus on the backlash with regards to Ian Cameron using his firearm to defend himself and two of his colleagues after they were attacked after doing an oversight visit. Now, if you don't know the story, go and read it and come back, but here's a brief summary. Ian Cameron and two of his fellow members of parliament and people that form part of his committee went on an oversight visit, and when they got in the same car to go to the airport after the visit, they were accosted by 2 to 3 individuals that were throwing bricks at them. And they were in the vehicle. Obviously, the bricks hit the windows and shattered it. And then also they continued throwing bricks at Ian and his colleagues in the vehicle, causing harm to them. Now, if you don't believe me, have a look at this. Alright, so as you can see here, you can clearly see that the windows were shattered as bricks went through it. You can see glass on the seat over here and other fragments of glass on the carpet. You can also see the damage done to Ian's face. That is just a small incident in his mouth. 2 to 3 of his teeth were broken because of the brick hitting his mouth. And then his colleague, and by the way, this is going to be gruesome. If you don't want to see this, don't look. Okay, warning. There we go. Here you can see the gouge in his head and also the other injuries that he managed to get. This is on his head. A brick hitting his head. Now, all right. So it's quite clear that if Ian Cameron didn't step in, their lives would have been lost. It's really that simple, because these individuals were going to continue to throw bricks or stones at them until they either died or, until they were so seriously injured that they could just take them, throw them out the car, and then go off with the car. That is if they wanted to steal the car. We don't know if they wanted to steal the car or wanted to kill these members of parliament. But of course, as with everything in life, we've got these armchair critics that have now jumped on the bandwagon and want to give their opinions. The first one, of course, is the Daily Maverick. And of course it is the Daily Maverick, because who else would have this idiotic opinion? Now, some experts have said in this Daily Maverick article, oh no, that he should have fired a warning shot. And there are others that are saying that, force, the force that you use should be equal to the force that you are receiving, and he could be in some trouble. I own 3 firearms, and the law is very clear. If your life is in imminent danger, you can use any force necessary to defend your life and somebody whose life might be in danger in close proximity to you. That is what the law states. So whether or not the assailant or the attacker has a toothpick or a knife or a firearm, you can use any tools at your disposal to defend yourself. That of course means your own firearm. So it's not that difficult, but of course the Daily Maverick wants to create some sensationalism out of this, and now they are talking cuck to South Africa. And now South Africans are confused as to, what is the point then of having a firearm? It's because they're lying to you. If your life is in imminent danger, you can defend yourself with whatever means necessary. And that also means your firearm if you have one. All right. But now, the Daily Maverick is one thing, because they were just saying, whether Ian Cameron used too much force with using his firearm. But we've got, of course, Brett Herron, who is the Secretary General of the Good Party, good for nothing, the good, the bad, the ugly, that's good, right? The irrelevant political party that got less than 0.5% in the 2024 elections, yes, that good. And their Secretary General, Brett Herron, that wants to seek relevance now, that is now making this a racial issue and also even bringing colonialism into it, believe it or not. So let's have a look at what Brett Herron has to say. Alright, so this opinion piece appeared on Politics Web and it is written by Brett Herron, as you can see. Ian Cameron hailed as a folk hero for shooting a black youth. So right off the bat, Brett Herron makes this a race issue because he's a race grifter. He's a woke leftist snowflake that has to make everything about race. Otherwise, he's got nothing to talk about because he believes that he is this white messiah that need to speak on behalf of black people. It's just typical, bottom of the barrel politics, and that is what Brett Herron does really well. Gun-toting MP revives symbol of colonial civilizers overpowering savagery. Yes. The story of DA MP Ian Cameron, who packed a gun on a visit to Philippi and used it when his vehicle came under attack, is deeply disturbing. First, that he felt it necessary to carry a gun in Cape Town exposes the lie in his party's claim that Cape Town is an exceptionally well-run city. Okay, so you're not allowed to carry a firearm because apparently there's no crime in the Western Cape. So if you wear a firearm in the Western Cape, then what? You're an idiot, according to Brett Herron. Because, you know, a well-run metro and a well-run province doesn't mean that no crime takes place. But hey, Brett is shooting for the stars in this one. In reality, the vast majority of Cape Townians live in squalid conditions, in crime-racked areas with little hope for the future. Well, now you're contradicting yourself, because that's exactly the reason that Ian Cameron was carrying the firearm. Cameron, who chairs the Police Portfolio Committee in the National Assembly, will be quick to blame rampant crime in the city on the police because the DA is not in charge of the police. The fact is that policing on its own is not a golden bullet to stop crime. That requires social and environmental development. Sorry, I just picked up this over here, which tells me it might be ChatGPT or some AI that wrote this for him. But okay. The DA's decades-long control of the city of Cape Town. By the way, he's now making this a political issue. You know, you can see from the word go, he's just attacking the DA left, right, and center, which tells you that there's something else at play. I'm not going to read the other cuck here in which he wants to attack the DA. I want to focus on the important stuff. Second, that Cameron has been hailed as a folk hero in conservative circles for shooting a black youth reinforces old divisions. So, according to Brett Herron, he is now thinking that Ian Cameron sat there and when he was attacked, he went, "Oh, wow, a black person. This is going to be nice." You know, like as if Ian Cameron wouldn't have done that if it was a white assailant or a colored assailant or an Indian assailant. What is wrong with this guy? His actions are symbolic of the apartheid propaganda films depicting civilized whites with guns overpowering black savagery. I'm literally speechless. I'm completely speechless here. I don't know what, I honestly don't know what to respond to that. Like, you've taken a crime incident and the victim just happens to be white and the assailants just happen to be black, and you now want to make it this like story about colonialism and apartheid propaganda films. Like, God. If Cameron doesn't feel safe doing his job in black neighborhoods, he should have the emotional intelligence to ask the Speaker of Parliament to facilitate protection rather than behave like a latter-day Rambo or Piet Retief. So I'm confused. If he now asked for security, you would have complained that he is wasting state resources and taxpayers' money. But the fact that he used his firearm that he has a license for to defend himself and the people around him, now you want to say, "Oh, how dare you?" So in essence, you are saying every gun owner in South Africa, in some shape or way, is not respecting South Africa or the Constitution, even though the Constitution does not really speak on firearms, and therefore you are allowed to own it, because the Constitution doesn't say that you're not allowed to own a firearm. It really doesn't make sense. He goes on, where else does he carry his gun? Does he pack only when visiting black areas? You see now how he's making this, he is creating this narrative in his own head that isn't in actual fact true, but he's driving this narrative because he wants to act like Ian Cameron is a racist. Should MPs with a propensity for disrupting Parliament consider adding bulletproof vests to their wardrobes? The colleagues Cameron was travelling with on August 19 on an unannounced oversight visit to Philippi Police Training College were understandably grateful that he was armed and dangerous. All three were injured when their car came under attack. So I don't understand what the problem is, because you yourself is now saying that this is what happened. So what is the problem, Brett? They'll think twice before venturing on their own to the Cape Flats again, but it won't cross their mind to link the state of lawlessness and hopelessness on the Cape Flats to their party's deliberate underdevelopment of vast swaths of the city. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is why the Good for Nothing party is where it's at right now. It's because he's got these race merchants that want to racialize everything. I mean, this is just a clear indication of a crime taking place and somebody using the tools at their disposal to defend themselves and those around them. But instead of praising Ian Cameron for doing a good job in saving his own life and his colleague's life, he now wants to put Ian Cameron in the position that he's in actual fact the bad guy, and this poor black youth that had bricks and stones in his hands and decided out of his own to throw it at a car to injure those inside, perhaps killing them, to either steal the vehicle or as a hit, he is the victim. Not Ian Cameron and the other two white people. No, the black criminal that decided to do this. You know, I feel bad for Brett Herron's family, because if this had to happen while Brett Herron was driving, then according to his reasoning, when the bricks will come through the windows, he'll be like, whoa, we need to have a discussion. What is your intentions here, sir? I can see that you're a young black individual. Please tell me. And then this brick would have killed him. And then, of course, if the children and his wife were in the car, I don't know if he's married, I don't know if he's got children, but let's assume. If they were in the car and they started yelling and screaming, it would have been like, hush! As you can see, this is a young, dynamic black individual. Let's ask him first. Don't be racist, everybody. Keep quiet. Let's listen to what this young black individual has to say. This is the type of reasoning that Brett is now saying that we should all have. We all know for a fact that if the roles were reversed, if Brett was in a car and for some reason there was a gun in the car, he would have used it. But now he's standing on a pedestal and looking over what happened, and he wants to give his opinion. Shut up! Nobody gives a single flying F about your opinion. Everybody knows that the way in which Ian Cameron defended himself and his colleagues were correct. You really would have to be mentally retarded to come out with a different angle in which what Ian Cameron did was not correct. If it wasn't for Ian Cameron, 3 people would be dead. Now, 1 individual is critically in hospital, and guess what? It's the criminal. Now, I'm not sure what other outcome Brett Herron was looking for, but what Brett Herron was looking for here was another dig at the DA. But instead, now what he's gotten is he's insulted, belittled, and attacked every single gun owner in South Africa, because every gun owner in South Africa knows that what Ian Cameron did was to the book, it was right, and there's nothing wrong with it. But now Brett Herron wants to come in and bring race into it, wants to bring apartheid into it, wants to bring colonialism into it. Sit down and shut up, Brett. Nobody gives a flying fuck about your opinion. What you said is completely idiotic and just once again illustrates why your party is circling the drain. And I can't wait for 2026 when the Patriotic Alliance swallows your entire organization whole. And that's pretty much all I got to say. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel, smash the like button, share this video far and wide so that we can show everybody what an absolute idiot the Good Party and Brett Herron is. Lastly, if you support my content and you support this channel, please consider becoming a member. You can do so by clicking the button below. And that's pretty much all I got to say. Till later, cheers and peace out.
You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I went my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I went my massacre. My massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I went my massacre. My massacre.